Bob Quinn and the Big Show. And before we do anything else, we're going to talk to Brian Hoops here in just a moment. But before that, I'm going to give you a chance at a word that could let you rake in $1,000 into your pocket. That word this hour is win. W-I-N, win. You take that word to the little pop-up box, the website of the radio station you're listening to right now, and enter that. You could be getting a $1,000 phone call. Here's a guy who fields $1,000 phone calls about every other one. Brian Hoops with us, Midwest Market Solutions. And Brian, let's take a look at his marketplace today. Giving back what we gained yesterday, I guess, in soybeans, corn kind of moving along. What's not happening, I guess, in the marketplace today?
Oh, that made me chuckle, Bob. that was a pretty good one. So I've been very, very negative to these markets because of the supply concerns that we have, and I don't think I'm wrong, but I think I'm very early on the timing. I think we're still, we've had a big rally in soybeans over $1 off of our lows. Then it seemed like it was corn's turn to rally, and it's put in 50 cents or so off of its lows. And now it seems like wheat is kind of taking its turn to rally, and it's been sharply higher 2-3 days in a row now. And there's all fundamental justification for it, but a lot of it is also money flow and short covering by the funds and the fact that the dollar's at 14-month lows. So all that kind of combines to give us these higher prices. But at some point in time, we do return back to the fundamentals. And if you look at the longer-term fundamentals, we're approaching 600 million bushel carryout for soybeans this year. It's going to be, 550 to 600, somewhere in there, likely to see a yield increase in the next supply and demand report, which is a week from this Friday. With corn, you don't have quite the carryout burdensome, but just a bushel and a half yield increase is going to add tonnage to the market that we really are going to have a tough time working through. So especially when they start to get rains in South America, if those rains come next week as forecasted, I think it's going to be really hard to continue to push this market higher like we've seen. In fact, we're seeing meal and soybeans get back some of these gains like you just mentioned. So if I'm a producer and I'm looking at a $1 rally in soybeans, my marketing strategy changes from wanting to store the crop and hope for a post-harvest rally to looking at this opportunity as really a great opportunity to make cash sales. And if I'm not making cash sales, I'm going to protect this $1 rally with some put options. And I'm also going to look out to next year's crop. You're looking at $4.60 for December corn next year, November beans right at $11. I think those are opportunities that you want to take advantage of because without a supply issue or a crop a crop year where we lose some bushels somewhere, those are going to be very hard prices to overcome by next fall.
Well, let's take a look at what's going on harvest-wise here in the U.S. That seems to be maybe where we're trying to get a little direction, Brian. Not a lot in yet, but what are you seeing as far as yields coming in?
Yeah, so we have offices around the Midwest and North South Dakota and Iowa and Missouri and South Dakota. We have a lot of contacts all over the country, and pretty much everybody says this crop, corn crop anyway, is one of the top 5 they've ever produced or the best they've ever had. So it's it's somewhere in the upper best, one of the best they've ever produced. And it looks like yields are going to increase. There's been a couple of private estimates that have come out ahead of the report next week, and they have increased yields, 184.2 and 184.5, I believe. The newswires they just emailed me this morning collecting our data for the report next week. So we're going to up our yields, no doubt. And soybeans, it's more variable. If you had those rains in August, and you probably are seeing like a very big yield, 70 bushel, 80 bushel beans. If you missed out on it, it's more 50, 60, more of an average crop. So the soybeans are going to be variable. Either it's average or it's really good, and it all depends on if you got that rainfall in August when everybody else was really dry.
Then put into play, I guess, the dry weather in South America right now.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think we've seen this rally when everybody thought they would, and it's dry, and they've kind of slowed down some of their plantings or delayed it. But the forecast models for a week now have been talking by around October 7th, October 10th, the monsoonal rains will return to Argentina and to Brazil, especially northern Brazil. And if that happens, they are going to start planting, and that should be the start of the rainy season. So if this is a weather-induced rally, I think you really have to take advantage of it. If it's not, if you don't get the rains, we certainly could go higher. But I think, everything's kind of lining up that maybe these rallies have come close to exhausting themselves. You
think we're kind of stuck at a high point right now? You mentioned we've had a week's worth of rally here.
Yeah, we're not in any danger of really breaking the uptrend in any of these markets. Technicals are very strong, and every day in the last 2 weeks we've seen massive buying come in at the 8:30 markets. You watch the soybeans in the overnight, they can be 10, 14 lower. It doesn't matter. Someone comes in at 8:30 and buys, and just aggressively buys. And they're doing it again this morning, taking us off of our lows. We just, until you change those technicals and change the mentality of some of the traders that we're going to buy every dip to starting to sell rallies, this market's probably going to hold out in here for a while. But at some point, the mindset will change, or the market will turn over, and all that will be forgotten, and we'll be looking at these big yields that we're talking about.
Yeah, well, Brian, we're going to talk to you again in an hour and 10 minutes to get maybe some projections on prices ahead of the close here. What's a good number for folks that want to talk markets with you?
Well, you can look at our website and see that our list of our addresses there for all of our offices at MidwestMarketSolutions.com. You can call me directly, 417-501-5132.
Thanks, Brian. Brian Hoops with us, Midwest Market Solutions. Talk to him in an hour and 10 minutes. Right now, events of the day.